What's a woman? What's a man? Let's have that crash out today. That's going to be great. Okay. And so that'll be pretty easy. Go west, young man, haven't you been told? What's a man got but not himself? Spangler's idea of the demise of the West, I believe that's what it's called, I haven't really read much of it, tells us of the spirit of the West, which goes westward, it's boundless space and expanse. Isn't a man a hero in his own mind? Doesn't he aspire to make the noble sacrifice that inspires and emboldens his brothers and dismays his enemies? And ultimately, isn't that what a man does for his family? Through humble sacrifice, he gives his life for his cause. The problem is that the ultimate man, the archetypal man, is a hero. And heroes are dangerous. They are born within the mind, and they go on and they fight and they vanquish evil and they sacrifice. And there are really only two types of suffering, right? There's pointless suffering, which has probably to be the ultimate kind of suffering, right? Because there's no meaning to it. It's utterly meaningless. It's just sacrifice that you didn't need to make. And it beats you to pieces. It is devastating, right? And then there's noble sacrifice, noble suffering, where the hero valiantly, honorably, sacrifices his life, sacrifices his blood, his flesh. Isn't that Christ-like? Doesn't Christ die for something that's a valiant sacrifice? Isn't Christ a noble hero when he sets his face like flint and takes on evil? And so the fear is, the reason that everything in society has to feminize young men is that it really only takes the sacrifice of a noble hero to stand up and say, I am willing to give not my life now, but the whole of my life to defeating evil. I am willing to spend the time suffering. I am willing to take the risk and the sacrifice to defeat that which I've already vanquished in my own mind. That's what a man is. That's dangerous. That's potent. That's something that can't be taken away. And we have men everywhere. You don't possess. I'm holding a cup of coffee, right? Somewhere in prison, there's a man. You might think, oh, most of those guys are little boys. They're goof ups. They haven't really ascended to manhood. But somewhere there's one of them, right? He's got nothing to his name. What does it take to be a man? It's up here. It's that simple. There's a mountain of the mind. A man ascends it. He decides what it is he's going to be. Is he going to be his own God, an apostasy of apotheosis? You know, will he weather the rains of the mighty? Will he weather that himself? Will he build himself a structure and a framework and frack the mountain to pump a water, a temple to himself? Will he go back down? Will he be somebody else's man? Is he going to be a PlayStation? They plug their ideas and assumptions into him, and he becomes who they are, and they play him. Is he going to worship Jesus? Is he going to put that above his life? He's going to put his family above his life? What would he sacrifice, not just his life today, but his life every day for? That's what makes a man. That's what a man is. He's the totality of all of those things. He's their defender, and what makes him a leader is his humble, noble, quiet strength, the dignity. Because that's what Jesus is. Jesus is the ultimate archetypal man. And if you don't agree with the Bible, that's fine. You have to at least be willing to admit, even though you probably had an emotional reaction otherwise, that it is the highest form of art. Because art is at least that which makes you feel something. And the Bible makes people's lives change. You can say for the better or for the worse, that's your call, but the impact is there. It is at a minimum one of the highest forms of art. And we'd have to look into storytelling and an understanding of what storytelling is, you know, and that's probably a completely different video. So I thank you for joining me to watching today's one, and I appreciate you coming and tuning in. Thank you for your time. It means a lot to me.